Hey there, my name's Ben Meredith, and I'm the head of support for GiveWP, as well as the head of quality assurance for GiveWP and a number of other WordPress brands within Stellar WP, which is a liquid web brand. And so I head up the technical support teams, and I also launched the quality assurance teams for a number of those brands. So that's the context that I use Ghost Inspector in. Stellar WP is a group of brands that are all WordPress related products. So they're WordPress plugins that allow you to add functionalities to your WordPress website. GiveWP specifically is a donation platform for WordPress. And so that's the main software product that we sell. It's a distributed product. And so we have to test it as widely as possible on as many different scenarios as possible before we send it out. And so quality assurance just has extra levels of wrinkles because it's not on servers that we even have control over. So our business is a WordPress plugin that we distribute out to millions of active installs across the internet. With GiveWP specifically, which is where I started with Ghost Inspector, the biggest problem we were having was we were doing quality assurance. We were checking to make sure things were working, but it was really kind of guess and check and not very systematized at all, in the sense of we just had to be lucky to test as many specific scenarios as possible. And so what we did that caused us to seek out Ghost Inspector was we said we need automated tests that test for all of these scenarios where anything that we were manually testing, hey, let's make an automated test for that so that the next time around we can manually test something else, and let's make an automated test for that, so that each release became more and more stable, because we were releasing these bugs that in the case of GiveWP, they're doing donations on their WordPress website, and an update could potentially take down donation functionality, and that's obviously a humongous no. We don't want to do that. We don't want to take down donations. And so we said, that's our top priority. Let's make a list of tests that automate, say I'm on the Stripe payment gateway using this theme and this other plugin. I want to make sure that clicking update on GiveWP doesn't cause an outage for donations specifically. So that's where we started, was donation specific functionality. And since then we've branched out. Now we test all sorts of things before each release, but it really, the major thing that was a huge source of heartburn for us as a company was not having the assurance to be able to tell our customers, we know that when you click update, it's not going to take down donations on your site. And now we can say that. So Ghost Inspector gives us the peace of mind to be able to know that that specific challenge, that donation functionality was breaking, is no longer the case. And so I can know, okay, this list of payment gateways has been tested. An existing install with this payment gateway, we updated it to this new version, the pre-release version, and tested it and made sure that this works. And so it has just night and day transformed our QA processes. And very early on, as we were creating these automated tests, we ran into some edge case bugs that would have caused hundreds of tickets, hundreds of support tickets of angry people saying, my website's not working. And we were able to head those off at the pass. And it really comes down to Ghost Inspector catching those because we were able to do that. I'll be honest, implementing Ghost Inspector was intimidating for me. I'm enough of a developer to get myself into trouble. I know a little bit of JavaScript. I know a little bit of PHP and those kinds of things. And so the first thing I did was kind of get overwhelmed. I got in there and I was like, man, I can do all of these different things. I don't really know where to start. And one of the engineers on our team kind of walked me through and sat me down and said, hey, let's just start small. Start with one little, simple, repeatable test and build from there. And then do it again. And the very first few tests, I ran into some troubles where our deployment system was not working right to get me the correct zip. And So I kind of ran into a dead end, but then I took a step back and said, okay, let's come at it from a different way. And what we've got is a site that is our persistent QA quality assurance site that we run all tests on for this one specific suite, which was our starting point, where we say we're going to run all the tests on this one site. And so I go in before I click run on the suite of tests and make sure that the site is configured the way I want it to be, and make sure that everything looks correct and has the versions of plugins either released or pre-released that I want on it. And then I click and run the tests, and then I can go and see in Ghost Inspector. And so that was kind of version one, was this QA site as a persistent site. The next thing we've done is we've moved into using a service that spins up these kind of disposable sites with templates, right? So I can spin up a site, use it for tests, use it for a suite of tests, and then delete it when I'm done because I'm done. And we're honestly still in the very early stages of implementing that whole procedure and getting with our development team to make sure that the QA team has the right resources and the support team has the right resources to make that all happen there. But it started with just that one persistent site, and now we've moved on to kind of getting this system of disposable sites that we can spin up with very specific edge case scenarios that then we can test against those and not have to maintain these dozen QA sites that are just sitting there for QA. We can use those templates to do that. So that's how we started it, and it really was just me getting in there and doing it. There's some other folks in the organization, the larger organization, that have done some Ghost Inspector stuff, and so I was like pinging them on Slack and saying, "Hey, I don't know how to do this. How can I do that?" And it's been really, really helpful. And now we've got a team of folks who, it's actually one guy who helps us make the tests. And so as we're deploying new functionality or finding bugs, we send them to him and say, hey, go make a new test for this specific functionality or this specific bug, and make sure that we're catching that. So that's been a humongous process. I think now we're up to 75 or 80 tests on that one main QA site that we can run on every single release and know that we are not releasing bugs into the system. The specific feature of Ghost Inspector that's most helpful for me, well, I guess there's two. One is the videos, to be able to go and watch the video and see exactly where the test went wrong, if it failed, or what the test fixed. Because like I said, I'm not making all the tests now. I've delegated that and someone else is making them. So now I can hop in, run the video, and see, yep, that's exactly what I want to be testing. That's perfect, and kind of approve it and move it into an official status. And then the second thing that is, I think, revolutionized my experience with Ghost Inspector has been the concept of reusable tests. And so I mentioned that we work with a lot of payment gateways. Well, some of them have specific test credit cards that you have to use. And so as opposed to having 15 different tests that all test Stripe test credit cards, and if they make a change, or if I want to test something else, I have to go and change it in 15 places. Now I can just create one reusable test that's like enter Stripe credit card. And it goes in, it enters that Stripe credit card. And if something changes, if something's broken about that test, I can go and fix it in that one reusable test spot and not have to go fix it in 15 different places. So that's really the two things that I find most helpful about Ghost Inspector. I'd recommend Ghost Inspector to other organizations simply because it's peace of mind. It's knowing that especially software organizations, that you're releasing software that's not broken, and that this fix doesn't present a regression, right? So if I'm shipping new code, I want to make sure that this old bug that I fixed 3 versions ago isn't back. I've got a test for that now. Every time there's a bug that comes through that's testable, that I could have caught with a test, we make a new test. And so now every time I'm shipping new code, I know that it's not breaking in the same way. It might be broken, but it's not breaking in the same way as it was before. And that peace of mind is just wonderful. And it gives us the ability to talk to our customers in a much more confident way to say, hey, this new version has been tested, and we know that it's not broken, and we know that your donations are going to continue. So that has been humongous for us.